Hello, I'm Papiertüte. I'm a paper bag right now, and currently, I'm just a little guy out here, and that's not very interesting. But we'll get into it. See, I've been making a lot of progress on making this model. I'm a an illustrator as well, so I'm making my own model from scratch, and it takes a long time. So here you can see the start of my concept art. This is the first sketch that I came up with. I have a few layers here on the side that you could see. Uh, there we go. Just just enough kind of to get started using a really rough kind of pencil. I think it's this one. Huh. That's not showing up. Hold on. Oh, there we go. So you'll see it's actually a pencil that I use for sketching that actually gets lighter as I press harder on it to make me kind of sketch really lightly. So that's a good uh, tool to use if you are a really heavy-handed fella like I am. So there's that. I did this a while ago, and then the second version is I created this mock up, which is actually what I exported to create this little PNG tuber in the bottom right with Veto tube. It's good stuff. And then the only thing I added was one extra mouth, which is good to do. Everyone uses mouths, I think. Well, I mean, you hope so. And yeah, just filled in this area here. This one, I pulled in this one on the right with the symmetry into a line art. It looks pretty flat here, but it actually gains a lot of depth once you shade it again. I noticed that when I am doing something with a lot of tooth, like a really toothy brush over here, this size sketch chalk is also normally 8 pixel, and the line I'm using is 3 pixel. So when I go to the actual line art, you can see everything's a lot thinner, everything looks a lot flatter. That's intentional because in the full model, then things are going to be more complicated. And so I was already thinking about the layers to everything, and uh, I had this idea for a normal like paper bag puppet kind of thing, where the actual top of the paper bag flaps and closes. And then this face thing, it's pretty uncanny because everything is line art, but I was already keeping in mind the layers for everything. So you have the brows, and then like the different parts of everything. Things aren't separated into right and left yet, and they will be in the next model or in the next version of that I'll show you here. Uh, yeah, I think that's good. Then we have mouths, which I knew I was going to have more than one mouth. I also realized later that this mouth was a bit too obvious. I kind of wanted to have a more subtle mouth so that you would be kind of confused about which is the mouth, kind of like a butterfly's natural camouflage. That was kind of the idea. So especially here, you can see it's like the clashing of the. I wasn't really sure what to do with the alpha, and yeah, I just went in with this tiny line art brush and just like made everything, put it in. It comes out pretty scratchy and has like a distinct feel to the line art, which I was happy with. And I didn't redo a lot of the lines because it doesn't have this brush actually doesn't have a texture to it, so I can get exactly what I want. All right, and then the next version. Wow, what did I change here? I'm not sure. Not much. Hold on. Let's try to figure out what I did between this one and this one. I can't tell actually. I think this one got saved as model liner. Okay. And then this one, you can really tell there was a lot of progress here. This one I did the fill. So this is most of what I did. I added this body, and I have a distinct kind of layer order here. Things are separated into right and left as they should be, and kind of pressed down. In an earlier version of this model, I had all of the fills on different layers for the line art. That actually is true here. You can see that the line art is separated. And I'm still not sure if I need to do that. And I'm also not sure if the resolution is too high for Live 2D, and we'll actually have to figure that out. I'm also thinking it's possible that the color here is too dark for a paper bag, but I'm not sure. It's definitely not my real life skin tone because I don't leave my house, but you can start to see it taking shape. And also, the main thing that was really nice was that I fixed this thing in the under eye where the iris was coming down over the bottom eyelid, and you don't want that. So actually, that actually created a lot of problems for me because there's these scratches that I have that now are overlaying everything. But before this, these scratches here and these folds, which are kind of the lines where the paper would be folded over for a paper bag, these were actually drawn under, and you'll see that if I do that, these are actually drawn under the eyes, you can actually see that the fill for those eyes, for those eyelids, actually covers that part, and that's true for the scratches too. So you can see it's different. The effect isn't what I want. So I had to end up drawing them over. I figured actually, I figured out that if you have these folds on top and then you do burn, that is actually an effect that I really like down here over the eyes, because I want the eyes to be like transparent plastic. But unfortunately, Live 2D doesn't have that layer blending mode, so they're just painted over the top. Actually, I want to see the burn here too. Well, it's weird. It's like it changes in some places, it doesn't in others. I don't actually understand how burn works, but I like it here anyway. But I wanted it to be like lighter over the parts of the eyes that are here. But I couldn't figure out a way for the under eye to clip that part of the eye, like to clip off this part of the eye without also clipping off this part of the thing. And then I couldn't use like some fun opacity thing. I actually have to have the folds and the scratches over the top of everything for it to work like that, for them to be visible at all over the eyes. So so just from a practical standpoint, it actually has to be drawn on top of everything, which I thought was interesting. That's the type of thing that you only figure out once you're starting to illustrate a model, I guess. Which is why I did that. I also made this made the faux version, which I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on. It's this version of the model is actually a lot more popular with my friends than the normal version. So I might debut with this version instead. I really like VTubing. Streaming seems fun. and I just want to do it because I want to kind of separate my face from what I'm making, so it's easier to make stuff that's fun and not worry about like I don't know a family member seeing it. I guess so. That's great. Uh, and then yeah, so you have two versions. I'm not sure how to get the eyes. Like these eyes don't work together, so it really has to be two separate versions. You can see with the false eyes the exact like outline of the bottom eyelid and how that works. Um, so that's interesting. I don't know. I have this second version, right? I have the second version. I'm not sure what I did here. I think it had to do with the eyes. So I have well, let's get into the structure of the eyes. So you have the upper, which are all of the lids and the high lashes. So you have these lids here, which is this. Spot the difference. I'll like remove the ones on the right one at a time, so you can see the difference. So you have these high lids, which are really thick. So I didn't feel like I needed a higher eyelid like patch like I have for the lower eye. And then we'll go into the low eye, and then you'll see of the low lash fill here, which is what cuts off the bottom part of the iris. And then I also have these lower lashes here, which this could also be this also works. It looks more like a button here. That might be an alternate like pupil. I kind of made it so that I could alter a lot of things about the character just by making things visible or invisible. You can see like on this right side, if this iris is like properly rigged and everything, you could just like make these layers invisible and just use pretty much most of this, and it would be basically the same. So you can see like these are two versions of basically the same rig, which have a lot of a different effect. And also the mouth from this, I was talking about this earlier. This mouth is a lot more subtle here, and that is specifically for the effect of. I think I got everything. That's specifically for the effect of the false eyes. So now when you look at this with when you had the old mouth, even if you weren't zoomed in, you could totally tell it was a mouth because it was so much thicker than everything else on the model. But now you look at this, and if the fake mouth is visible, it's completely impossible to distinguish the shape of the mouth underneath. And yeah, so next thing I have to do is, I mean, rigging the eyes is going to take a long time for me, and everything. I might keep like the false mouth on, because even the other thing is with the normal eyes, the false like the fake mouth still looks like it might be the mouth of that character, and I'm gonna see the fake mouth. Actually, I'm assuming is easier to rig, which is why it's there. I'm basically gonna rig this model first, this version of the model first, because all I have to do is make this upper part bob up and down for it to work as a VTuber rig, and then once that works, I'll just use that model uh, until I have the eyes rigged properly on top, uh, and the mouth, so we can replace parts with better parts over time. That's the idea. It's just like your first gaming rig. You get whatever budget parts that you have, and then you replace them as you have more money to spend on your computer, and that's how it works. So that's basically what I'm doing, because I don't have a lot of free time right now. So I'm trying to set it up so that I have a lot of time. Anyway, uh so I'm Papiertüte. I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you when I have more progress to show you.